is where we talk about everything that is awesome. And what we're talking about today is Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, the books, not the crummy series. We're talking about Winter's Heart today. Check out that cover. That is an amazing cover. We love Robert Jordan here at Miss Martin Muses, and we are first-time readers. I have actually finished the series because I just read like a wild woman and finished it by the end of the year. So I know everything that's going to happen. But as always, today we're going. I'm sorry, damn it, Salty. We're going to only be talking about what happened in Winter's Heart. No, we're not reviewing Blazing Saddles. Well, you know what? You know where the white woman's at? She's right here. I'm so white, I'm blue. That's how white I am. I am Scandinavian white. I'm whiter than you, Nordporial.
Well, right now, you have to excuse me. I'm checking my privilege right now.
Oh, that's what's going on. Okay, yeah, well, definitely. Well, I definitely have rose petal privilege. I forgot that I have a banner here somewhere about what you're not allowed to say. But yeah, thank you, Salty, for giving me a laugh. Actually, I needed that laugh. Let me add Winter's Heart. So in general, I love the entire series, and I did a entire series thing with the Prophet of the Dragon on his channel. But I mean, I just love these characters. I love this world. I love everything about it. And, even the stuff that sucks, it's still not suck compared to what some of the modern day suck is. So, you can forgive them. You can forgive them for it. Let me go ahead. I got the banner here. So, Brian, what did you think about this? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't introduce my guest. We have once again Brian, all the way from the north, where it's a hell of a cold and a little bit crazy, but then again, the whole world is crazy. Nordporial life form. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. Thanks for inviting me. I read this. I finished this one back in, I think, September.
Mm-hmm.
And I was originally planning on finishing the Wheel of Time last year, 2025. Yep. And that didn't happen. I think part of it is because I was disappointed in this particular book, and particularly the ending. I mean, the ending, it was fun to read, but it didn't make me look forward to reading more of the story. Even though it was a big, really important thing that happened, something that stems all the way back to the prologue of the first book. The whole idea of Sidene being tainted, counterstroked by the Dark One, verbatim from Robert Jordan. And we'll get into that. But between reading this and knowing how Crossroads of Twilight was, it's been 5 months. I finally started slowly getting back into reading book 10, and I finally got through the Matt stuff. Now I'm in a Sean Chan, like a bridge chapter, a Sean Chan chapter, and then it's going to be a whole bunch of Perrin and Fael. So that's where I'm at right now in my current read. And yeah, I hope I want to be finished. I want to try and finish this before. I want to try and finish this before the summer. That's my new goal.
Well, okay. Well, I finished it in time. I kept my goal, but that's okay.
I know. You're a better person.
Yes, I am a better person. Damn it, I am. Winter's Heart was in the discount dump bins and bookshops in the early 2000s. To be fair, yeah, a lot of people don't like this one as much as others. I think it's very Elaine heavy. What I enjoyed about it was the Aes Sedai. I just really dig the Aes Sedai intrigue, the way that, I mean, women, we can be so awful, the way we backstab and work behind the scenes and our little political maneuverings. And you see this in here. But I also like the fact that, in the prologue, we got the Black Aja hunters, that they're actually people within that are underneath Aleda and stuff that are starting their own rebellion, outside of anything that Egwene and all of them are doing in the so-called alternate seat. so what do they call it? The chair of remorse or something. I just love it. Yeah.
Chair of remorse. Yeah, so it's a continuation that I think they started in book 7 with the Ciane and Pivara, and it was all started because you know Elida goes to Ciane and demands or tasks her, mandates her to find treason and doesn't go into it, hoping that they'll dig some dirt or some treason on Alviarin, the actual Black Aja. And so far they have, so continuing from the last book, they find out that this one person is, this Talene person is Black Aja, and I think they get her to re-swear her oaths. If that undoes the Black Aja oaths, I would have to find out. It's too bad Dane's not here to answer that question. But basically, Talene gives them information saying that Elida is Black Aja, which I myself, well, I kind of know that she's not, because spoilers from everybody else, especially our precious prophet the dragon.
Yes.
So she's just a moron. She's just a moron who doesn't realize doesn't realize what's going on around her, basically. So
yeah, but I like that, by the way, because it shows that sometimes the biggest villains are just dumb, that there's not a reason behind it. Like, there's no great grand conspiracy, like, oh, she's a Black Aja, or she's got, 40 chests going on. No, she's just dumber than the rock and proud, and that combination is deadly.
Like, she believes it's a conspiracy theory that the Forsaken are back. So talk about low IQ.
Exactly. It kind of reminds me of in the Order of the Phoenix in Harry Potter. Like, Voldemort's not back. And it's like, dude, we saw him kill.
Cornelius Fudge. That jerk. Well, it's a good thing. Well, he got ousted. I forget. Does he live? I think he lives. I don't think.
Cornelius Fudge. I think that he might die.
It's his successor that I think gets killed.
Correct. So I think he had to resign in disgrace, but I don't think he dies. I don't recall. It's been a long time since I've actually read the books. That's why I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've read those too. So
yeah. So anyways, there's this chair of remorse, which is what they use. And it says here, to experience carefully selected consequences of their crimes. Can we please have a chair of remorse? But but of course, what they actually did was since they cannot lie, or what was it? I forget how they do it. It's like you have to forswear all oaths that bind you and retake the 3 oaths. And that was the way that they would find out if the person was a Black Aja. And they pretty much threatened them. It was an offer they couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So well done. I liked that. I like the idea of these Aes Sedai being, screw it. We're going to do whatever it takes. So good times. Yeah. It forces, you could be flogged or whatever they say. Flogged by Trollocs to compel truth and repentance. And so what is it? Yeah. Elida, she thinks that Elida is a Black Aja, but she's actually wrong. Yeah, because Elida is not, because it always seems like they see she's able, or rather the Black Aja is always able to see what is going on with the Amyrlin seat. But of course, that's not the case. We know that the person that she has as her, I forget what the name of it is, like the close advisor to them, that she is actually the Black Aja that's always outing what they're doing. So good times.
Yeah. The Black Aja know stuff. They know the decisions that the Amyrlin makes before everybody else. So that's kind of why she says that, or that's her reasoning. That's her reasoning, and that's her trying to persuade them of that. But
Correct.
obviously, I think she's trying to, you know,
Yeah, indeed. Well,
deceive.
precisely. Yes. Hello, Deeple, and this is one of his top 3 Wheel of Times books. Wow, because I liked this, but I wouldn't say that. I'm curious. Maybe put in the chat why you think this is so, because that's definitely not a common opinion of this book. And we have all the way from the north and from the future to Steve Kenobi. Hi there, Teresa and company. Well, hello, Steve. Thank you for being here. So, yeah, so we have that. So we now know that they're all moving against each other in this prologue.
Keeper
and
of the
then
Chronicles. Keeper of the Chronicles. That's
Thank
what it
you.
was. I forgot too. So you're not alone.
Okay. Yeah. My brain cells are just kaput right now. And then we also get Elaine. There's a lot of Elaine in here, and Brigitte. I love Brigitte. Elaine kind of gets on my nerves. She does have something awesome in the next book, I believe it is. But in any case, they're all, she's trying to claim the Lion Throne of Endor, but I'm sorry, Andor.
Endor.
Andor is Star Wars with the Ewoks. She wants to rule the daggone Ewoks. Yes. But so they want to raise an army. Oh yeah, Brigitte takes taking control of the King's Guard. We've got Sea Folk hanging around, and they had made a deal with them that for the Bowl of the Weather or something, that they were going to have more Aes Sedai teachers. And see what else. Oh yeah, Taim shows up, because that's what Taim does. And he demands land and supplies. It's like, I like him. I really like Taim. I think he is a bastard, but he's a cool bastard.
Yeah, I liked. I mean, I'll say this again. I liked his introduction in Lord of Chaos. The first 3 chapters of Lord of Chaos, especially chapters 2 and 3, were really well done. Like, it made me want to read more of the book. And then I got to chapter 4, and it's all, let's catch up with the Aiel. Then I got bored again. That's just me. That's just me. But those first 3 chapters, it was almost like a supervillain was making his grand entrance. And there was a lot of tension in those chapters, and especially, and I always think about this. I was thinking about this today. My favorite moment, and this is in his introduction, is when he's like, "I could have done this to them," and then Davram Bashir's like, "Time," and and Rand's holding him back, and Rand just goes, and this is like Rand at his most awesome. He's like,
yes,
"You do that again, Time, I'm gonna let Davram Bashir kill you."
Yes, I know. I love it. Speaking of Taim, because I did this thing actually with Prophet of the Dragon, I was showing my personal people for this. I imagine this guy being Taim.
Who?
Hot and, wearing black and stuff. But so here he is. Yeah. So Taim sitting there being a badass, looking like that for me. He's a guy who was in everything. I know him from Middlemarch, a chick flick. But he's just in everything. He was in a version of the Odyssey. I think he was in a version of everything.
I had a guy from Seinfeld in mind, and he was also in Curb Your Enthusiasm. He's deceased now. He passed away, but he had like long hair. He had this like, he lift his chin up type attitude,
Yeah.
There was a Curb Your Enthusiasm where he was a waiter at this restaurant, and he wouldn't allow them to take a doggy bag.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
I forget the actor's name, but that's who he's got. I don't know if he has the hooked nose that Time has,
Yeah.
But,
yeah. The actor's
that's
name.
who I'm thinking. I'll have to find out who it is.
Okay. Yeah. This actor, he is, what's his name? His Rufus. Sewell, he's also in the show Victoria, but he's in loads of things. I mean, if he's in something, he's in something. He's definitely a great character actor. But yeah.
Is that him from Man in the High Castle?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes. He was also in A Knight's Tale, but yes, I believe that he was in that show as well. He's in loads of things. I love him. But I also, and I got to give credit to Steve because
That
he
is him.
actually suggested him. Yeah. So he's my Taim. He looks like a young Oscar Isaac. Oh dear, no. No, I like Oscar Isaac, but no, this is my man. Okay. If you watch Middlemarch, maybe I'll make that my challenge for February to make men watch Middlemarch. It is a total chick flick, but yes, no, he's my man. Put him in Victorian clothes. But in here, I don't even know what this is from, but he is my Taim. So he's sitting there being the badass, doing what you were just talking about. Oh boy. So, I mean, you did see that Elaine was kind of negotiating with them. It's like, yes, you can have the land here for your Black Tower, but you've got to like allow us to inspect and stuff. And also, meanwhile, the Red Aja sitter, is it Tovine? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correct.
Yeah.
She now has, as a warder, she has Logain. And
Logain has her. I don't know.
Or is it the other way around? Or
yeah, because he bonded her.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, they're bounded. And that one chick is sleeping with him. It's what we always suspected, that the Aes Sedai weren't exactly celibate, but man, these chicks, they will sleep with people to do what they want, and in some cases, they will even sleep with men to manipulate them.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't know. I wasn't really particularly enthralled, but with this particular storyline, I'm not sure where it's going to go. You've read it, so you know where it's going to go. But
I do.
I honestly don't think this is going to go anywhere interesting.
Yeah, it all pays off, in my humble opinion.
Okay.
Let's see. Yes. Oh yeah, they're saying Man in the High Tower. That's what the conversation is there. So
we can't forget before we go any further, we can't forget about the ceremony. The birthing ceremony.
Oh gosh, yes. I'm starting to get sick. Well, I already am sick to death of these stupid sister wives.
Yeah.
But yeah, they got summoned, and I guess this is how you become a sister. Before they became sister wives, they had to show up naked and they had to tell each other what that made them the most mad. I like that.
And then they had to slap each other. Yes. If I remember correctly. And then they get weaved and they go through a gestation, and then they get born together. And they have each of them has a mom, and then there's another mom. There's a third mom, and that mom, I think, is, what's her name? I can't remember the woman's name. You know what I'm talking about? Amis.
Yes, it's yeah. You're correct.
So Amis is their mommy.
Yeah. So now they're sisters.
I'll be honest. It was quite a ride reading that. So I actually did like that portion. I did like that portion of the prologue.
Yeah. Well, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I guess in my situation, I'm just like enough already with those two. But yeah, that was interesting. And when they got to slap each other, I feel like Avienda could have been used more or differently. I don't know. Or maybe there's just a part of me that this whole where they're sharing Rand, I get a little annoyed with that, because at the end of the day, I still feel like the best woman for Rand is Min. So when they're sitting around. He's like, "Oh, I love all of you." It's like, no, you love men because she's the best
Yeah,
one for you.
I'll be honest. I'm not the biggest fan of the polygamy in
Yeah.
this either. I was thinking about this myself. Um, I find it very hard to believe. I can't. I mean, this is fantasy, so
Yeah.
I mean, you have to, you have to set aside your disbelief.
Yeah.
This aspect I can't really is really hard for me to set aside my disbelief. So I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of I try to skim past these parts as much as I can.
Yeah.
So um,
Yeah.
so they basically have they basically all basically they ward all three of them are bonded to Rand now. So I guess that's the equivalent of marriage. They don't have a marriage ceremony other than this, right?
Um. Well, no, they're not actually. Wait, who's getting married to who now?
Well, I mean, to kind of follow this up with when Rand and Min show up in Camelin,
Mm-hmm.
and all three of them, Min, Avienda, and Elaine, basically bully him into bonding.
Oh yes. Yeah.
They
No.
basically coerce him into bonding, all three of them bonding with him. And to me, that kind of came off like it was like a marriage
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
ceremony.
but technically it wasn't because they do have marriage ceremonies, and even Elaine says, "I intend to marry him one day." But yeah, that's the closest we get, I think, in the story to
Because
a
I don't.
marriage.
I mean, you finished the series. Do they get married? Is there a ceremony? I'm assuming there isn't because there's no time.
Well, I think to answer that might be a spoiler. Um, so I won't answer that. But no, they didn't ever get there is a separate marriage ceremony, but you're right about the whole bonding thing. And bullying is a good answer. I'm not sure I liked that. I I don't like a lot of aspects of it because basically men isn't bonded though. No, she is part of the bonding, isn't she? They all bond
Yeah, they all
together.
bond.
Yeah, they all bond together.
Yeah, the
Um,
thing is, men cannot. So when you weave, you can suppress certain aspects, of certain your
mhm.
feelings of the bond. So like if something happens, like if you can channel, you can suppress, feeling certain things that the other person's feeling. Men can't do that because she can't channel. So
Yeah.
she has to feel the entire thing of Rand and Elaine,
Yeah, well, and then Birgitta has issues, so
unbuttoning her dress, as the book puts it, helping her unbutton
correct.
her dress.
So what they end up doing is they get drunk so that they can't experience it. But yeah, Min was a part of that in a different way. Yes, not in the manner you think of. Yeah, well, technically we're trying not to do it a spoiler here because I feel like I can't really explain it without saying what happens. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I forgot. I'm looking at this here. That really was kind of cool when they just smack each other and they admit. I like it that they admit. You know, I am kind of jealous. I don't like the fact that you slept with Rand, and I forget what was the other things that they were just admitting that. I don't know. It's yeah, strike her as hard as you can with your open hand. That was great. That was great. Let's see. And they're like, "Forgive me, forgive me." Yeah, and that she said, "I really don't know if Rand ever will." And Avienda has lain in the arms of the man I love. I never have. I never, and I could weep over it. So what Elaine does do is she says before Rand leaves after that whole bonding thing, that's how they end up having sex. But it's because she's like, they've had something I haven't. So drop those pins. Well, she doesn't say it like that, but it's like we're gonna have sex now. So
I need you to stay here. I need you to help me unbutton my dress.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And but It's like unbutton my dress. We've all seen enough Days of Our Lives, at least I have, to know what that's coming to. But yeah, exactly. And because it was, and the way she phrased it was, they've had something I haven't, which is
Pretty
no matter what
much, yeah.
women say, no matter what we say, we're jealous. We're jealous. It never works out. Big Love, the TV show, I think really went into that in good detail. Hello, Toby's with Timmy. Hi, chat. Big time old reader. One of the best books in the series. This one. Oh wow, this is another person that really likes this book. Oh, sorry, my cat just jumped on me. Since she can't. Oh yes, he's confirming. Since she can't channel others bonded her to him, she did not bond herself like a water. Okay, yes, that is clear. See, Miss Martin Muses, there are others who really like this book. I told you so. Oh dear. Steve Kenobi, I dropped the soap brand. Could you pick it up for me? Well, hopefully it didn't quite go like that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm thinking Naked Gun.
Oh gosh, that's so awesome. I love Naked Gun. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Deeple, I believe it's, yes, he is saying, oh yeah, and by the way, Deeple is a member. Thank you for being a member. I always thought that the three ladies were all separate parts of the woman that Lutheran, whatever his name is, the previous dragon was married to, and they all together form some sort of spiritual whole. Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that one. I did learn that the whole three of them, were based off of three queens and King Arthur and a few Arthurian tales or something.
Could be. Now that I'm done, I could actually Google some commentary that maybe Robert Jordan said. I don't know if these things are just interpretations, but if that's what works for you, I mean, why not? It could be definitely could be something. Absolutely. So I just think of it as, oh brother, almost like, since he's the dragon reborn, that he was needing to populate the planet. So I don't know about that, because we know that almost right away that Elaine is pregnant. And we also learn, I guess, there was some form of birth control back then, because they said, oh my gosh, she didn't drink the whatever tea, and she's going to get knocked up.
Oh, well, I mean, in Game of Thrones, it's was it moon tea?
Moon tea, correct. And
but I don't know. I don't recall there being a contraceptive in the middle of time.
Min mentions it. She said she didn't drink the tea or something, and they're all like, "Oh no!" I can find it when we get there. I think I made a note of it. But in any case, let's see. Yeah, and that they're going to have this world. Okay, so all these characters, I think they all have this same name. Yeah, the other sister bonded to Logain. Oh, it says bonded to Logain. I can look up some more details of that later about them all. Either way, they're all bonded. And yeah, it's getting crazy, because the Ashaman are bonding the Aes Sedai, and the Aes Sedai are bonding the Ashaman. And it's really the equivalent of heresy, or, well, heresy might be the wrong. No, heresy is a belief. It's more blasphemy, almost, like that they're doing this. They're like, this is insane. Like a man bonding and an Aes Sedai. That is like awful. But on the other hand, it's a total different world. And we also know that the Ashaman at the Black Tower, they are going into two factions. So there's Taim's faction and Logain's faction. So things are getting
heated.
Yeah, they're definitely getting heated.
Yeah, Logain is at the is at odds, because he's the only Ashaman on his side. All the other Ashaman joined up with Taim in his castle. So, yeah, I'm curious. We've barely seen Taim since Lord of Chaos. I mean, he was briefly in Crown of Swords. He was at the very end of Path of Daggers, and we see him very briefly in this prologue with Elaine. and there is some mention of him that we'll get to, later on when Rand is hunting certain terrorists.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be there. He's gonna pay off. But you're right. I remember at the end when that whole Lord of Chaos, and it's like, wait, you're what? Are you the bad guy? Are you not? I don't know. Well, and they keep you on your toes about it. Or were you supposed to know? I don't know at this point because now that I've read the whole thing, I don't remember when things were actually revealed. Yeah. Steek says, I loved all the books, really. 1 through 4 are my favorites, though, but the whole series 9 or 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah. I would agree. I loved it. Okay. Deeple says, since whenever he interacts with the ladies in any manner, his delusion mental discussions with the previous dragon tend to happen either before or after. Oh, I want to have a look at this. Oh, wow. It took you 25 years to read the entire series. Wow. That's longer than us. That's longer than Brian, because Brian, he just didn't meet the goal that we kind of both had set to finish it by the end of the year. Yeah, it started in 1992. My goodness. Hello, Alpha Chad Feanor. Always good to see you. Yeah, the High King, the man that messed up everything because he had to get those stupid Cimarals. Thank you for screwing up the whole cosmos. But in any case, let me see. Is there anything else? Because I'm kind of looking through the prologue. That's basically it. It's a very long prologue. It's 100 pages, but I think
Yeah,
it's different.
yeah, it's an okay prologue. I think the last few books, the prologues, the last good prologue in my opinion was book 7, Crown of Swords. That one had the fate of Pedro, which I thought was really well done. I'm trying to remember what else was in that prologue. Like what happened to I think what happened from other perspectives at Dumais Wells, like what led to Dumais Wells. So Savannah. But yeah, I mean, the book 9's prologue was okay, especially the whole gestation with Elaine in them. Book 10's though, I know I'm getting ahead of myself. It took me a while to get through that one.
Yeah. Well, I feel like as it goes on, the prologues aren't really prologues. They feel like they're just chapters.
They're like mini books, mini novellas, as Dane puts it.
Yeah, they're not the way it was before. And that's, I think, why it took problems here. Oh, yeah, Steak took about 20 years. The long series are brutal when you start early. Yeah, for those people that started it back in the 90s, yeah, or,
I mean, the last book came out in 2013, and the first book came out in 1990. So, I mean, so if you started, like, when Dragon Reborn came out in 91 or 92, yeah, it's going to take you 20 plus years. So, and people had to wait and wait for the next book. And I feel for those who had to wait between Lord of Chaos and Knife of Dreams, which is a good 11 years.
Yeah. Well, it also helped for them to be reading and then going through all the theories and everything. So I think that's why sometimes for us, where we just read them back to back to back to back, we don't always absorb them as much because many people would reread them in between. Now, I don't really want to say too much about Perrin and Fail because not a lot happens with him. This is the book where Perrin is basically, Fail, where are you? And Fail is kind of surviving in the camp. One thing that's significant is she does meet, there's a guy that's really kind to her that is one of the Aiels, and he's going to be a little bit significant. And Morghese is there, but they don't know that she's Morghese. But beyond that, that's really all that happens in this book, unless I'm missing anything, because I think,
I mean, the only other thing is they reference the battle in and Path of Daggers between the Shan
Yeah.
Chan and Rand's Ashaman.
Hmm.
So they reference that, and there's another battle between the king of Amadesia. Amadesia is the ones the kingdom that the White Cloaks run in all but name. So the king actually leads an army and gets defeated by the Shan Chan, and the White Cloaks themselves retreat. So Eamon Valda and Eamon Valda and the rest of them are still alive.
Mm.
So the White Cloaks are out there, um, and the Shan Chan they're here to stay. The Karen has started. The return.
Yes. And woo, I kind of like that. Yeah.
And
But before we
apparent
get
and
sorry.
apparently Missima, who they reason why they were in Gillidan in the first place, was to pick him up and take him to Rand for, I don't know, for trial or something, because of all the bad shit he's been doing, the armies he's been leading, the monarchs that he's been blackmailing because he holds all the power and all that. He's like, oh, I can't be taken to Rand. I cannot be touched by the troop by the one power. But then all of a sudden, at the end of this whole thing, he's like, oh, we're hunting some Aiel. If Aiel was kidnapped, I think I can handle going through a portal or going through a gateway,
Hmm.
because I like to hunt Aiel, because, like, if you go all the way back to the Great Hunt, or even the end of Eye of the World, when he was just simply, one of, Ingtar's, men in Shinar, the Shinarans did not like the Aiel. The Shinarans had this hatred for the Aiel. They fought the Aiel quite a bit,
Yeah.
especially during the Aiel War. So, and some of that hatred is what's what's getting him, making him want to get involved with this. So I'm curious where this is going to go.
Ah. Well.
And apparently,
Woo.
he's also talking. Apparently, he's also talking and making deals with the Shan Chan.
Yeah.
So I'm curious where that's going to go.
Yeah. It's gonna be something. I will say. I just want to say one more thing about the Perrin. Verlaine, if I'm saying her name right, who I like more and more the more I see her. She allowed a rumor to start that he slept with her, like he hadn't slept with her, but um, how is it? She didn't stop the rumor. She let people believe it. Maybe that, or maybe it wasn't in this book. Was this in the last book? Um, but because he was recovering, and so she was in the tent with him and all that, and so I don't know. I think almost just because she just decided she wanted to let that rumor fester. She never said it didn't happen, and so some people thought that Perrin had slept with her, and that's going to be something a little bit later. I mean, not huge, but when you talk about the dynamics between women, that's going to be a factor. But beyond that, I don't really feel like there's a lot going on here. Now, what do you think about the daughter of the Nine Moons and Matt?
Well, I was wondering how long it was going to take for us to finally meet this character.
Hmm.
So it's making me wonder now, like, if the Shan Chan are basically, I mean, they are an empire.
Hmm.
I mean, they rule from their continent to the west. But I'm curious, like, if they are. I guess they're mixed race, because I know Tuan's supposed to be, dark of skin the
Hmm.
color of charcoal, basically, as described in the book.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm curious if the entire royal family is like this, or especially the Empress. May she live forever?
Yep, may she live forever. Absolutely.
That's one thing I like. That's one thing about the book. That's, whenever they bring up the Empress, may she live forever, they always say that.
Uh huh. Oh yeah, absolutely. Even if they don't mean it, because half the time they poison them and all that.
Yeah, I mean, especially in Shan Chan society, the higher you go, the road is paved with daggers.
Yes. And I love the way that they feel the same way of that with the other people. Yeah, there's some good points in the chat. I am following this here. About Asmodean kind of did the most damage as a Forsaken by riling up the Shido. That led to a lot of deaths and trouble. Yeah. And people they're sharing how many times they've read the books and always something they look forward to a thing. And then, as far as, are you talking about Barrelane? Instead of get more clout in negotiations and whatnot, she was being clever. If the leaders of the nations thought she slept with the friend of the dragon, or just being the mistress of the dragon, even if it's not even real, or of the friend of the dragon. Is that what you're referring to there?
No,
Oh,
no, he's talking about Berlane.
yeah, but he says so I'm thinking Mayane would get more clout. So maybe just as typo there, because yeah, it was Barrelane that was doing that. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
that was why she did it. Yeah, yeah, but no, the Shan Shan. Well, I always imagine them as very dark, actually. And yes, may they live forever. She has her head shaved and she's wearing this veil. And the one person I think that can really throw Matt off because, well, for lack of a better word, she's got a hell of a lot of power. And he's like, I'm supposed to marry you. I'm supposed to marry you. And he didn't realize that by saying it 3 times or something like, you're my wife, you're my wife. Was that in this book? I think it was.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was in this book, and
Okay. Thank
so
goodness. Because
he doesn't find this out. So we what I find funny about this, and this was as I was reading, is we know this. I mean, always starting all the way back from chapter 14, where they introduce her and they introduce her staff, her crew, and there's another character name. There's another character. She's called a truth teller, truth
mm,
sayer. Her name is Anath, and
yep.
I suspect she is a certain someone who did not show up in this book, but she has the description of a certain other character. So I'm curious if she turns up as this other character in a certain book,
Hmm. The truth teller?
in a certain book 11. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So but yeah, but I thought what I thought was funny is actually, you know what I was thinking while I was reading this was, when is Matt going to find out? And of course, Robert Jordan, you know, basically waits until the very last couple of pages of Matt's arc in this book
Yes.
for him to find out that Tuan is indeed the daughter of the Nine Moons. And of course, he's like, holy crap, the Aelfin were correct. And so, yeah, I mean, I was just like, I thought he was going to I honestly thought he was going to find out sooner and not wait. Because, I mean, throughout the book, I mean, I think in Lord of Chaos, he's asking, heck, he asks the Aiel dark friend Melindra in Fires of Heaven if she is the daughter of the Nine Moons. I mean, he knew about this since the Shadow Rising. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so yeah, so he's been asking, and this is the one book he hasn't been asking until he finds out at the very end. It's like
Yes.
it's death to touch to touch the daughter of the Nine Moons. He's like, oh, and everybody's reacting. He's like, oh, that's my wife. That's my wife, everybody.
Yeah. That's my wife. Yeah.
And she's finding this funny, and throughout this story, she's been stalking him.
Mm-hmm.
She asks him how much it is for his Ashen Darai, and he's like, only a fool would pay the price that you have to pay once.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Yes. I love it.
she doesn't understand what that means. So, um, but yeah, the reason why like they fight at the end is because she was kind of stalking him and following him around.
Yeah.
She wanted to buy him. She wanted to buy him as a slave
Yes.
from Thailand. And Thailand's like, he's a free person. He's not for sale. And Matt's thinking, really? You think that way? I don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Forcing him to sleep with her at knife point.
Oh yeah, the other
Even
chick.
though
Yeah, the queen.
even though he could have taken the knife away from her, he didn't.
No, no.
Because this happens in the Crown of Swords, and there's a point where one of the Windfinders, one of the Athanmir, basically do the same thing to him. He just snatches it from the woman. He just snatches the dagger from her. So I think he kind of was okay with it, even though he wasn't, but he kind of was.
Yeah. He's like, no,
But he
no,
thinks he
I
wasn't.
can't. It's like that scene in Spaceballs when he's like, oh, no, no, and he's like, but your helmet is so big. Yeah. They used to do that in soap operas all the time. I don't think they do that anymore because it's considered grape, but where the man's like, no, you will stay here. And it's like, I don't want to be with you. And then he kisses her and then she goes and kisses him back. But as far as the whole thing with the Empress, as we know she is,
May she live forever.
May she live forever. I just love the way that she's just one of those characters that can throw him off, and the fact that he said it 3 times, he doesn't realize what that means. He just was just like, this is my wife, this is my wife. And so she's like, okay, I'll go with you. And she basically allows herself to be taken prisoner. Yeah. And so she's definitely intrigued by him. So I think I told you before that I do enjoy how their romance, such as it is, develops. But it was also really cool how when he was coming upon her, that the dice, were going like when the dice start rolling in his head, it's like something big is going to happen or something's off. And then when he was around her, it definitely the whole phenomenon was happening. And of course, we know why, because we'd already known that she was the daughter of the Nine Moons. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, there's that phenomenon, and there's also the phenomenon whenever he thinks about Rand or Perrin, he starts to see colors. They all start to see colors, and I don't know if it was started in this book or if it was started a few books before this, but this is the book I kind of really, because Robert Jordan brings this up a bunch of times.
Yes.
So this is obviously important. So I'm curious where that's going to go.
Mm-hmm. It's a thing. So, Steve, going back, I guess I didn't see this question. Are you thinking that character was a Forsaken? Like, if you're wondering if it's something.
Oh. Well, you've read the book, so I can safely say yes.
Okay.
I think Anath is Semiraj. Same. I say she's tall, and Semiraj is a sadist. And what does the Truth Seeker do to Tuon? Penance.
I just won't say anything. We should.
And Dane kind of gave it away. So Dane kind of gave it away too. So, but I think but they say Semiraj is too busy to help with the events of they have the Forsaken have their evil little council meeting. Semiraj is not there. Missana is not there. And they say Missana, there's no excuse for her. She's just fucking around. Excuse my language. Semiraj is busy. At least this is from Demandred's point of view, because Demandred is allied with Semiraj and Missana in particular. Mm-hmm. But I think Semiraj is busy hanging out with the Seanchan. Has to be really careful. Keep her cover up.
Okay.
Well, I know she eventually attacks a certain character in a later book.
Okay.
And that certain character loses something.
Well,
Yeah, spoiled. I was
we shall
spoiled in
see.
that way.
All right, so we already went through. Basically, we know that we have people in the White Tower. If they're seeking the bad guys, they're using questionable methods. We know that Aleda had sent the 51 Aes Sedai to the Ashaman to gentle them. What an idiot. The fact that she thought that they wouldn't have power. And of course, they captured them like right away. And then they're all now bonded. We have the sister wives or the sister wives. And Rand showed up and they all bonded, the three of them, in a certain kind of a way, perhaps maybe a marriage like ceremony. And then Elaine banged Rand, and Perrin is going, Fael, where are you the whole time? And
And
Fael
and the
is,
wolves won't help him.
sorry?
The wolves won't help him. Hopper
Yeah.
won't help him. It's a human issue
Hmm.
for them.
Yeah. Matt escapes with Tom. Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, Tom's there and Julin. I really like those guys. And and Tuan. Oh dear. And he kidnaps her. So there's that. Elaine is working like, I've got to claim the throne. Fael's getting used to being a captive, and there is a man among them that's being nice to her. And meanwhile, oh yeah, well, we've already talked about Taim, what he was up to. And then Rand goes, I am going to cleanse the male part of the thing. Is it Sidene? I keep getting it confused. Is Sidene the chick one or the male one?
The male one.
The
Saidar is
male.
the female one.
Okay, I got it right. Yay. So he's going to do a cleansing. And everyone's like, no, that's never happened. And in a way, this has been stuck in our heads that no, that's why they go nuts. That's why they can't do things. It's not cleansed. But, well, he's going to do it. He has a very special, um, whatever you call it, Terangiel. Is it Terangiel? Terangiel? I forget, don't know.
I say Tarangriel.
Sounds good to me. Maybe I'll figure it out when I start watching some other videos, maybe about it, and see how it's supposed to go. But apparently, I guess he had learned it from the Elfane or whatever. That it was one of the.
Yeah. We don't see it, but he asked them the question.
Yes.
So I don't know how in depth. And the thing is, when I first read this, my disappointment was like, how does he know this? So I guess this was a detail I forgot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there's so many things that happen between it all. Let me see. Oh, the Three Sister Wives sounds like the name of a soap opera. Yeah, a Mormon one or whatever. Yay, the side characters around Matt are the best. Indeed, they are. And he says, Terror Angel. Oh, who knows? Hello, Dadman Walkie. So I'm not sure. We'll figure it out. But yes, it happened off screen. So maybe
Yeah.
that's why it's confusing. Oh, I forgot. Before we get to the cleansing, Paladin Fane showed his ugly head. And there was a little bit of cloak and daggers, some fighting, and he comes out and tries to kill
Yeah,
them again.
he kills Rand only. I don't think Rand himself kills any of the four that he was sent to kill. One of the second guy, the other guy impales the first guy, and then the second guy, they run off because they're going to get caught. So the second guy, Kisman, I think is his name, is running off, and he gets stabbed in the back or in the back of the leg by someone, and we find out that was Fane that did that to him. So Fane killed him, and then Fane basically lures Rand into a trap, saying that the last two that he's looking for are holed up in this building.
Mhm.
And they go there, and apparently Fane already killed them. So it was basically springing a trap with Fane trying to do something similar that he did in Crown of Swords, except this time Rand was ready for him.
Yeah.
Rand was ready for him, and what's weird was this time he had the ability to show like an earlier. He made Rand hallucinate an earlier moment. So he sees like the two people he was hunting going up the steps in the building before they get murdered by Pat and Fane, all to distract him. But it doesn't work this time. And while that's going on, Lan is with him. So him and Lan team up, and Lan is fighting Torm Ryoton, who Rand fights in a friendly duel in Crown of Swords.
Yeah.
Right before he gets stabbed.
Yep.
And I was disappointed because I was hoping to see two Blade Masters duke it out, Lan and Torm. But Lan just beats him off screen. I thought that was disappointing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, poor Lan seems to get the short shrift of things. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It sucks to be him, though. I would not want to be Lan.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually looking forward to this part. I was actually looking forward to this part of the book, and I was kind of disappointed. I was looking forward to, like, I was curious how this whole thing with Fane would go down, and Fane just kind of, tucks his tail between his legs and runs off. So.
Yeah, in a way, I feel like this is just to remind us, hey, he's still around, guys, and he's still dangerous, and keep him maybe in our consciousness along
Does
with
he do anything beyond this, or is he just, because I know like he was an afterthought in the final book. Like, does he do anything after this? And like, I'm assuming he's not in Crossroad because nothing happens in Crossroad. Does he do anything in Knife of Dreams?
Oh, well, technically those beyond our for spoilers on this one. So
all right, sorry,
yeah,
never mind. I
Never
apologize for the question.
No, don't apologize. I mean, in this case, though, at least I'm not being spoiled by any of that because I know exactly what it is. But indeed, it's something. Yeah, they're helping us. Yeah, with the pronunciation. The audiobooks are also helpful, but the narrators might be incorrect. Also, yeah. I mean, for some reason,
the narrators are definitely incorrect in some of their pronunciations.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like I said, I've only got Winter's Heart in front of me, and Terra and Geo, or however the hell it said, is not in here. Why don't they keep some of the words in each one? I started getting annoyed with that. Lan is a character that has a lot of cool stuff happen around him, but never see it. Jordan is such a tease, says Deeple 101. Yes. Now, he does get some badass stuff in the future, but yes, I agree with you. So that's why it was for me almost an afterthought, even as we're talking, because I'm like, oh, oops, yeah, there was that thing, but there we go. So now we go to, we're gonna cleanse. And actually, it's a sangriel that he is gonna do, and then he has an access key. It's like he has the key, the Tarangiel, one for Sidene and one for Sidar. So they're gonna like boost their energy and create this thing, this channeling that is going to cleanse the Sidene. So, yay. And it's so huge that everyone sees it, and it's like a big beacon that they all feel. And there's power teams in this one. I always think it reminds me of like a Guardian of the Galaxy moment where they're linking with each other, so they have little linkings in different places, like the Ashaman are linking with the Aes Sedai, so they're all working together. And yeah, and it also brings the bad guys out. So we have Domandred, we have Sindane or Sindane, Grendel. They all show up now. So before we go into some of the details about the cleansing, you said at the beginning that you didn't like the way the Forsaken were in this. You thought they were little punks or something?
They were punked, more or less.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the Demandred was being, was being bested by an old man, by that old man, Ashaman, had to flee from him. Um, Osengar, who was basically Corlin Dashiva, basically gets killed by a Black Aja of all things.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm gonna kill Rand and take Kalendor, and I'll be nameless. Oh, and he's dead. He's gone. I liked him better as Agenor when he was terrifying. And this, he's just a, I don't know. I don't. I wasn't a big fan of that. So we did. So a Forsaken did die. Um,
Yeah, we're knocking them off
so
one by one.
everybody that was involved in the end, the explosion, the terrorist attack in Kyrian at the end of Path of Daggers, which
Mhm.
I actually did like that ending. That ending had me. I was like, oh shit,
Mhm.
it had me. It had a lot of tension there. Um, but yeah, all those guys are dead now. So
Yeah.
that plot line resolved itself, I guess. But yeah, Demandra got punked a little bit. He had to flee. Sindane is basically Lanfear. I mean, she gets pretty pissed off that Nynaeve, so she's still jealous. She's still jealous of the fact that like this was her idea, this was her plan to use the Chosen Call to destroy the Dark One or the Creator or whatever. And she's like, I'm going to kill him, and she can't do it because there's this really powerful Damani. So the Damani that they take with them, Olivia is her name. She's the most powerful Saidar channeler, I think, ever. I think maybe even more so than the book even says more so than Lanfear or
Mhm.
Sindane before she was altered. So so basically Lanfear. And I think Lanfear is supposed to be the most powerful of the female Forsaken, either her or Semiraj, one of those two. Um, so um, so knowing that there's other characters outside of Aes Sedai that are more powerful than even the Forsaken, make the Forsaken even less of a menace. And this is another issue I have. Usually, I like series like the strength of your series. I mean, to me, depends upon the strength or the or how much the villains are imposing, basically.
Mhm.
So they're not very imposing. So that's kind of why I'm still 5 months later after reading this still on book 10, because I'm not really looking forward to the ending because I
Oh.
know they're just going to win and it's going to be. It seems like it's going to be a cakewalk.
No, it's not. Oh, no, and you don't know if they're gonna win. I mean, well, maybe you.
I know they're going to win. They're
Well, don't spoil it. Well, I guess well, people have read the books that are here probably mostly, but uh, it's. I don't see what you see. I see your point. Let me put it to you that way, because if that's how you feel, that's how you feel about it. But I still really felt like the Forsaken were imposing. I think they were taken maybe off guard. I don't know, but I mean, it's I don't know. I just feel like sometimes when you're dealing with evil characters, sometimes they can be so overconfident that they screw up. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah,
perhaps,
but
I
I
mean,
mean, just two thumbs up though to Lanfear.
one of my favorite moments that actually, I mean, I did really like the fog of war stuff in Path of Daggers because
Hmm.
I felt fear for Rand, even though Rand's Dragon Reborn and is overpowered, but there was still the possibility he could die, and I
Hmm.
like that. And I think one of the funnest one of the funnest fights where one of our heroes was actually at a very extreme disadvantage, which is very rare in this series, was Matt versus the Golem in Crown of Swords, and the Golem was just basically toying with him. I thought that was a good fight, and it's actually one of my favorite moments, because I mean, the Forsaken, who are supposed to be the big bads, are not really, filling that void.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my opinion. I know you don't feel that way. I know people in chat don't feel that way. So, that's kind of why I've been really slow, and I haven't been super eager. I haven't really I've read Song of Ice and Fire, and I mean, even years after reading Dance with Dragons, I still, want to find out what happens next quite a bit, even though I'm at the point now where Winds of Winter is not going to come out.
We're never going to get an ending.
I unfortunately don't feel that with Wheel of Time.
Oh.
Like if you took the books away and I couldn't read any more of it, I probably wouldn't feel as bad. But the thing is, the only thing that's keeping me reading is I'm just curious. I'm curious how the events that I know that are going to happen, how does it play out? How does it lead up to it, basically?
Okay, that's
fair. That's kind of where I'm at. So I mean, reading this book and reading most of Path of Daggers was work.
Oh wow, yeah. Well,
and I know book 10 is going to be work. I'm actually enjoying this chapter 4 right now. So, but what I did take away. I mean, I still think this final chapter was a lot of fun. There was some action. There were some things that there needed to be some stuff going on. So I did enjoy that, despite my feelings otherwise. I felt some of the Forsaken were done better, like Grendel and Erengar, for instance.
Yeah.
They were terrifying, especially Erengar. Erengar actually killed the boy. I forget his name. So there was a boy that dies at the end, young boy, Ashaman, or soldier, whatever, that dies at the end of book 8, but that's because he, succumbs to the taint.
Yeah, I know, poor little boy.
Yeah, and then another boy, Eben, I think is his name, in this one, gets killed because he engages Erengar directly.
Yeah.
We don't see it. We just know that he dies, and there's another character that dies too. I forget who. There's a lot, I forget. I like in the other thing, all these Aes Sedai characters, or all these characters that are surrounded our main characters. I don't remember who they are.
Yeah.
Nor do I care. That's another issue I have.
Yeah. I agree with you that's why I will often say, I don't remember who, but this is who it is, or I'll say their names wrong, because I think that there are definitely a lot of characters and they're similar as the cast gets really big. I will agree with you. I think I've already said before, though, that because he captured my heart with the world and the characters, that's what kept me going, and that's what made me just enjoy it. And who knows, maybe because you have been spoiled of the ending, that might play a role. You see, I wasn't spoiled, so I was like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Oh my gosh, I didn't.
Well,
what's gonna happen to Rand?
Starting in Shadow Rising and Fires of Heaven, I was dissatisfied with what I was reading, with the payoffs that were being employed. I was like, why is this happening? And then I had other ideas for what I thought was going to happen. And so I started looking ahead because I started getting disinterested.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of why I did what I did.
All right. Yeah, and meanwhile, the audience is going, boo, boo, because we all love it. But, hey, you like what you like and you don't like what you don't like. Yeah, Tubies rather says, over 300 characters, 3,000 rather. Well, there's definitely a ton of them. Yeah, but there are some really awesome moments to come. And I liked Winter's Heart. I liked just sitting with them and living with them. And like I at this point was at my rush to the end. I think I got to my rush to the end after dag nabbit, was it the sixth book? Whatever the book was that ended with that badass fight, the best
No,
fight
Lord of
ever.
Chaos. Lord of
Yes,
Chaos.
Lord of Chaos. And I was like, oh, hail. I just couldn't stop. And people are like, are you going to finish? And I finished like a month early. So I
Hmm.
finished it like mid November. And so, yes. So I get it. So if you were to give this book, this particular book, not the series, if you were to give it a score, what would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay, well, that's not too bad. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I would give it probably an 8 out of 10 because, if we're trying to compare it with things that were 10 out of 10s or even 11 out of 10s, like The Great Hunt, which was just holy crap. And even like The
I'm with
Dragon
you there.
Reborn.
I
Yeah.
love that one. I love, yeah, the end of the Great Hunt and the end of the Dragon Reborn is why I was willing to keep reading.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
and the
book, yeah, the end of book 2 made me want to read book 3. The end of book 3 made me want to read book 4. And then I read book 4 and I didn't want to read. I mean, I was starting to get bored with some of the tier stuff, but then certain chapters happened. The stone stands, and of course they had really odd chapter with I guess it's not a thing anymore. The bubbles of evil, so to speak.
oh
But the
yeah.
Roydion, but I wanted more stuff like the Roydion chapters where there was actual world building, not just Robert Jordan describing cultures and all that I don't remember basically.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm more like I have the world of Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time, and I have the world of Ice and Song of the World of Ice and Fire. So I have both of those coffee table books. A lot of stuff that I think that Jordan put in the world of Ice and Fire, he could have put in the books. Could have put in the books and made the world building a little bit more interesting.
Yeah. I'm
Like
assuming
that stuff.
you didn't mean the World of Ice and Fire, I'm assuming. You said Jordan put in the World of Ice and
Well, no, no. I mean, I
I
got
know
into
what
this
you meant.
argument. I got into this argument like a lot of my friends who like the Wheel of Time don't think I like world building. I'm like, I do like world building. I mean, the reason why I got into Game of Thrones, and heck, even way before Lord of the Rings, was because of the fact that it was an alternate world. It had maps. It stemmed from me being a Legend of Zelda fan. Playing Nintendo games and having maps of a world that you get to explore in. Um, and what got me interested in, especially Game of Thrones more recently, was how detailed and how big it was. Like all the
Mhm.
kingdoms, all the families, and all that. There was a lot of detail to that, and that got me interested. And I mean, even to this day, like there's parts of that world that I'm really curious. I really want to see and
Yeah.
all that. So
Oh,
Wheel of Time stuff, the world of Wheel of Time is nowhere near as interesting, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
A lot,
I
a
I
lot of
think
the, lot of the, yeah.
you misspoke. That's what I was saying. You said Robert Jordan in the put
Well,
into
I
that,
think
but
but I'm talking about Robert Jordan made a coffee table book called that he after book 7, which I did
yeah. Oh no,
read,
I'm familiar with that. Yeah.
and I think a lot of that stuff in that book should have been spread out in these books,
Sure.
basically.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying. Well, and he did what he wanted to do, and sadly, because he was no longer with us, it well, there it was. So,
Yeah,
but I can understand what you're saying, but yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, when we are dealing with something like ice, the World of Ice and Fire, and even what we're looking at with Dunk and Egg and the Night of the Seven Kingdoms show, which I think is fantastic
it
so
is. It's
far.
really good.
It's
It is really good.
amazing. Yeah, that it's similar though to how I feel a little bit with the Wheel of Time is I just like these characters, I like this world, so I like sitting around in them. And
I don't even like all the races in Wheel of Time. Like the Aiel get on my nerves, and nobody likes the sea folk. Maybe you do, but I
Well,
can't
I
stand the
will.
sea folk.
Yeah, I will say this: the Aiel definitely get on my nerves, and I think I mentioned. Well,
Like
there's a little sister.
I just want all the wise ones to die, and I know that won't happen. So I have to, you know,
Yeah, they play a role, but I get you. The Aiel to me are the least interesting of them, and they do get on my nerves. And Avienda, in many ways, gets on my nerves after a while, and I want to like her more than I actually do. And hello, Ancient One. Thank you for being here. Um, we love Ancient One here at Miss Martin Muses. You've been with me on this channel from the very beginning. I think you were one of my very first moderators. You do a great job. But yeah, no, I hear you on that. And
yeah.
uh,
Avienda kind of grew on me.
okay.
I guess I have the reverse. I did not like her in the beginning, especially in
Mhm,
Shadow Rising. How like rude she was to Rand and all that,
mhm.
and especially in Fires of Heaven. Um, it wasn't until she finally got laid by him that she started getting better. And
She
what's
gets
funny,
less
and
uptight.
yeah, so like that, I hated those chapters where it's just her being mean to him, like when they're on their way to El Kirdal in the Shadow Rising. I know that was setting up Fires of Heaven, setting up, her creating the portal to Shan Chan. Well, in the winter mountains of Shan Chan, and then they get stuck in an igloo, and then they have he helps her um,
Thaw.
yeah, he helps her thaw. Yeah, he keeps her warm. He keeps her warm, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
that's straight out of a soap opera too. It
yeah,
happens all the time. There's only
yeah.
one way we can stay warm. We
But I
gotta get
liked,
naked.
yeah, but I liked how she actually in Crown of Swords sticks up for Matt when especially her and Brigida find out what Matt did for them in the Dragon Reborn and how ungrateful they were.
Hmm.
If you remember that, that was a moment where I started liking Aviendin more. So, and so
Okay.
far she hasn't gotten my nerves. I kind of like her point of view chapters, the very few that she does have from her IEL perspective. And yeah, but the
Okay,
fact that she
that's
gets along with Elaine, just I can't stand Elaine. Elaine's the worst. Elaine's the worst. Sorry.
yeah. Well, and that's the aspect of Rand. Like, I love her too. I'm like, why? Why do you love Elaine? I don't. I'm still that Min is his soulmate. Min is his woman, and Avienda. Out of all of them, if it was Min and Avienda, okay, it's like I can see you haven't digging both of them. I don't know what he sees in Elaine.
Well, Rand loves Elaine to the point, even though he only met her twice, once in Eye of the World, and once and the second time in the Shale Rising, in the Stone of Tear. And the moment he finds out at the end of Fires of Heaven that there's a rumor going around that Morghese has been killed, he just decided he just like, okay, fuck it, I am going to Camelin and I'm going to kill Robin,
Mm.
and that's it. And he just goes in, springs all the traps. People mad and Avienda die, and he goes in. He goes into the palace and and then starts pursuing and trying to kill Robin, trying to assassinate him basically. And you get that final chapter you get the threads burning chapter. So,
Yes.
and I initially didn't like the chapter, but then I reread it and changed my mind. It's a
Ah,
good
so there
chapter.
you go. So maybe you'll change your mind if you ever reread this, or as you continue on.
I am not
Uh,
going to reread this. I am
uh,
not going to reread this. That I know for sure.
and everyone in the chat goes boo. And no, it's okay. You don't have to reread anything you want. The and you can like what you like and not like what you like.
I mean,
Elaine, it was
if I do reread, I'll reread the first three, and maybe some of the Roydion stuff and Shadow Rising.
okay.
That's it.
Elaine and
And
Egwene.
if I like Knife of Dreams.
Oh, Elaine and Egwene become irritating. Well, you know, I still like Egwene from a certain point, for what her character does and stuff. But speaking of which, going back to Avienda, and I forget if it was in this book where she kind of starts to like wearing girly clothes, and she's almost ashamed of herself. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that's so awesome! She's liking the pretty clothes because, as we know, the clothes that they had in the stupid TV show were not pretty, but yeah, I can imagine like being in these big like princess dress kind of things, and she's almost like, oh no, I'm liking being a princess. Speaking of someone who is not a princess, it is Prophet of the Dragon and a member. Thank you for being a member, and thank you for being here. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, Brian doesn't like Wheel of Time, so I'm I'm joking, of course. I'm saying booing because hey, you like what you like, and you don't like what you don't like, and it's a free country, and we have a right to hate you for it. No, it's like yeah, well, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. The only way I'll judge you is that if you know you ever say anything against Mr. Darcy or something because he's perfection. Um, we love Mr. Darcy here at Miss Martin Music. That show does not exist in my canon. Oh yeah, that show does not exist. It's ridiculous. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous that they couldn't even get the clothes right for crying out loud. We like pretty clothes, at least girls. You know, it's like one of the things
Yeah.
about the Lord of the Rings. Is I'm sitting there looking at Eowyn and her hair and her dresses and Galadriel and all that, and we're all like taking notes. And the makeup that Arwen wore, because when men like to look at pretty women for one reason, we like to look at pretty women to try it out. So but you look at the Wheel of Time show, it's like, man, I don't want to look like any of these women. I'm not getting any tips from watching this.
Hey, there was a hottie Sedai in season 3.
There
But then,
was.
yeah, well, that's what we call her. I forget. I think she was a made up character. Maybe Steve can answer that question. But she gets bail fired.
Oh
She gets
no!
bail fired. Yeah.
Punished for being good looking. What show indeed. Yeah, I'm thinking I might take the plunge and actually watch because I'm beyond being worried about it ruining any images because it is so different. I mean, when I see them, when it pops up on my timeline now because of Wheel of Time algorithm, I'm like looking at them and I'm like, that isn't anybody. It just doesn't even register to me who these characters are because
It's
it's
like
just
it's like
not.
it's like I mean it's like imagine watching Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, but like all the significant, parts of the story are cut in
Yeah,
favor of in favor of maybe Galadriel has an obnoxious you know daughter-in-law or has an obnoxious son-in-law who just happens to be gay and ends up having a lover that commits suicide basically.
yeah.
That's basically what the Wheel of Time series is if Rafe Judkins directed Lord of the Rings. you know
Yeah, there wouldn't be a fellowship
there
or
wouldn't be a
the
fellowship. There wouldn't be no Khazad-dûm, fight with the Durin's Bane or the battle at the top of Weathertop or the flight to the Ford.
yeah. Or there'd be women if they had a fellowship. There'd be women, and they would be the leaders. The Aragorn would be a woman. It would be, or there would be a woman that would
What about
upstage.
Arwen? What about in the movie Arwen takes the place of Glorfindel and
Well,
uh, and then sneaks up on Aragorn with a blade to his neck? Remember
yeah,
that?
that was the weakest part. I know nobody liked that. Yeah, but imagine if that was like the whole series, like they did that and then they
Yeah.
cut Frodo. That would be the
hmm
equivalent of it,
Well,
I
they turned
think.
Frodo. They gave Frodo in the book had agency. Like he didn't turn to a zombie. He didn't turn to a zombie boy. He was stabbed and he was still in danger, but he still had his agency. I mean, he couldn't really control he couldn't control the horse, but he unsheathes his blade in a final standoff against the seven or the nine. Sorry, the nine. And of course, he gets totally owned, but still, he's like, "You shall not have me," by
Yeah.
by someone. Whereas he just turns into a zombie and
Arwen doesn't.
Arwen is with them, and
Yeah.
Arwen kind of steals that moment from him.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
stuff with Arwen is the weakest stuff, like that stuff. Now, I didn't mind the scenes with Arwen that they wrote extra, like where she's talking to Aragorn on the bridge. It's like, okay, yeah, we
Yeah,
know that they met there. We know that he was there and they were seen together. But I
yeah,
agree with you. I agree with you about that. Um,
yeah. There after rereading with the White Cloaks, rereading the Lord of the Rings, and it's my first time rereading it after the films came out. There's some
yeah.
major differences.
Yes, there are, especially in the Two Towers, which
Yes.
I always talk about, so I won't say it again. The one that I hate, but yes, and even the way the Battle of Helm's Deep goes, I think people forgive Peter Jackson that though because he does keep the overall story intact.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there are moments, and that they are masterful films, like what they did with the Wheel of Time. They didn't even make it good, you know.
They didn't even
It's
try. They didn't even try.
Yeah. So in any case, so we're going to go ahead and wind down this party. We've talked about Winter's Heart, and one day Brian's going to finish the next book. He was on the prologue for about 5 months, I'd seen, or maybe not quite that long. It was about
No,
that long.
it was that long.
Yeah, 5 months. Yeah. I think that's a world record. But, you know, I don't know if you like. Well, there's so many other good things too. Did you read any of the Raymond Feist books, The Magician, for Fort Saga? Maybe you'd like that.
Let me
And
write
that,
that down. Let me write that down. What is it called?
yeah,
Raymond Feist.
yeah, Raymond Feist, and it's good because you can read like the first book and stop if you want. Then you can read the first trilogy, and then stop. He does it really well. So you might like that. I really like it a lot. And sometimes the first book, Magician, is actually divided up into two books: Magician Apprentice and Magician Master. But yeah, definitely we enjoy that. Thanks, great discussion. Well, thank you. Oh yeah, ancient.
Any other books to recommend?
Um, Off the top of my head, well, no, well, Wuthering Heights. It's it's a chick flick though. But well, as far as fantasy goes, um, you know, people swear by. Well, I'm reading the Dritz books. Forgotten Realms. Those are very simple books, but they're great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Ancient One gives a good thing that if they'd have tried to do this with the Lord of the Rings, yeah, Gandalf the Grey would become Gandalf the Black, and yeah, and he'd be like evil, and yeah, Magician Apprentice can't remember the third. Yeah,
I got a
there's
question.
yes.
Have you ever read this one? I just bought this. I read this a while ago. I loved it.
Hmm.
Have you ever read this?
Oh hell yes, yeah,
This is a
Watership Down is a
this is a
masterpiece.
great book. I love
Yes,
this.
everyone should read that. Yes, yeah. Steve and I
And,
did
and,
a.
and
Sorry, go ahead.
oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Steve and I did a stream yesterday where we talked about like books and what you're reading, what we recommend, and loads of people came up with really good recommendations in the chat too, as well. So people can kind of go through there. Oh, here we go. The people are throwing it in.
Chronicles of
Chronicles
Amber.
of
I'll write that down.
Amber. Yeah, The Wandering Inn, whole new 10 years old genre, hundreds of great, not so great books. Yeah. Or, it doesn't all have to be fantasy. I'm reading Louis L'Amour books because once I got done with The Wheel of Time, I needed a break from like intense. I'm totally focusing with a gazillion characters. So I'm reading like short books and rereading things, and I'm enjoying it. Yeah. Steward of Gondor to Gandalf the Black. Perhaps you come to explain about this. Why my son Boromir died. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they kind of did Denethor dirty. They definitely did Merry and Pippin dirty in the Peter Jackson films.
Yeah. Well,
So,
and
and
then
of course Aragorn going from heir, going from heir, proud heir to Gondor to reluctant
I don't want this.
hero.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. I mean, I'm very I enjoy the movies. I can't lie, but I definitely there were things that were not good, and some that were horrendous. The Two Towers, I think, was really egregious in that, but
Yeah.
we can't ever get it corrected because we know that if they tried to ever do another Lord of the Rings trilogy, they would Wheel of Time it. Well, look what they've done with the Rings of Power. Some people think that the whole idea was they were gonna go from the Rings of Power and then go into remaking the Lord of the Rings, but I don't think they're gonna do this now because the Rings of Power hasn't been doing well.
Yeah.
Let's see. But no, I get you. I mean, I think the longest book is roughly 2/3 length, the average wheel time book. Oh, okay, the Chronicles of Amber. I see what you're saying. But yeah, we went through the Lord of the Rings several years ago, chapter by chapter, and yeah, it's it's different. And maybe it's time I do a reassessment of some of those things because you know it is what it is. But in any case, do you have anything you want to plug?
Uh, no, not in particular. I mean, I this week I've taken a break from Chilporial. I mean, you could watch. I did a couple. I did a couple recently. I did one last week with Pips, our favorite, the White Cloak. Um, we were talking about A Few Good Men. I saw A Few Good Men for the first time. We were talking
Oh,
about that.
dude.
He's a U.S. Marine officer, so he was able to give a lot of interesting input and input into what was going on in the movie. And me being non-military found it very interesting. So I had him on last week, and then the week before I had Feanor on. We were talking about our favorite Clint Eastwood films. So
Oh yeah.
we didn't quite finish. We didn't talk about everything we wanted to talk about, so we have to do another one. And of course, I want to do another one with him talking about what we were just talking about, like some of the issues between the books and the films. And like, he's very critical of, even though the Peter Jackson films are great films, I still love them. I think they could have been adapted better, personally, to be more in line with what Tolkien wrote.
Yes.
So, like a few of the issues I had, and yeah, and I'm looking for guests. I'm looking for guests for the next few weeks. So maybe not next week, but after that. So I know I know my next one that I have planned in a couple of weeks. We're gonna have Mags on. We're gonna finally have another tutorial together. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
Yeah, Megs and I do those fashion things. We did fashion of the Lord of the Rings, actually. Yeah, I've actually gone on record, and sometimes people have given me grief when I say that I believe that J.R. Tolkien would not have liked the movies. I don't think he would, and I stand by that.
I mean, his son hated him.
Yeah,
His son Christopher hated him. So if Christopher hated him,
yeah,
Professor Tolkien would have hated him too. So
yeah, and
I mean,
for
Christopher
several
was
reasons.
yeah, Christopher was a big. I mean, Christopher then just wasn't just his executor. His executor when it comes to all of his literary works. He was also part of the writing process. He would critique his father's uh, rough drafts of Lord of the Rings when he was flying in World War II.
Yeah, and you can find a lot of things like that in the letters. Yeah, so I always say that, and I say that as someone that likes the movies, but I'm not going to be naive and try to create something that doesn't exist. And I think that sometimes because of the Rings of Power, when there was a whole Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, that hashtag, and no particular shade at any one individual or people doing that, but I said, well, be careful because yes, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings was amazing, but Tolkien wouldn't have liked it, and I stand by it, and I know that you
Yeah,
feel like that too. Yeah. By the way, okay, Deeple is. Let me see. Let's get some comments. Christopher Tolkien was a great steward of his father's works.
that's
Absolutely.
absolutely true.
Yeah. Now, I want to put up here as part of I want to thank my members. Prophet of the Dragon, please subscribe to him. And here is Salty Traveling Sea and thanking my other three members, People 101, Sort of Super, and John Sue. That's part of the perks that you get when you get to be Miss Martin Muses. And I did put Norporials in here. So please subscribe to him if you want to see some of these Norporials.
Definitely check out the Chilporials if you can. They're a lot of fun. I enjoy them. I
Yeah,
enjoy doing them with people.
It's nice chilling with a
Especially mine with Miss Martin Muses. We have to do a part 2, don't we?
Oh yeah, we did. I think we did a Catholic explaining thing, didn't we?
We did talk Catholic. We talked fantasy. We talked Catholicism. We kind of split it up. So
okay, fair enough. And speaking of Catholicism, I do have a separate channel now for my Catholic thing called Catholic Explaining, and I have a lot of fun with this channel, but yeah, I decided to separate it out because, it is pretty much a different topic, obviously going into deep religions things. So, but if you like the Catholic stuff, here's Catholic Explaining, everybody, to be Catholic explained. And coming up, speaking of Clint Eastwood, the next movie for the Cowboy Campfire that Steve Kenobi and I are going to be talking about is A Fistful of Dollars. I've never seen it, so this was the one that I chose, and he did a rewatch. We're probably gonna be streaming it next week. I'm gonna be watching it over at my sister's. I'm dog sitting, and they have a big ass TV and everything, so I'm gonna enjoy that. Also, Wuthering Heights is coming. We know that the horrendous, and I'll say it again, horrendous Wuthering Heights. I mean, you talk about things that are being butchered. I mean, if you know Wuthering Heights, this new movie that's coming out with Margot Robbie that they're releasing on Valentine's Day, for crying out loud, shows you how much they don't know the story. So I am going to be reading Wuthering Heights as part of my review. I always like to put in, it's a review too. It's not just reading it. We're going to go chapter by chapter through it. So I'm going to do that. And I will be continuing with the Harry Potter, but Wuthering Heights is going to take a little bit of a front seat because of the movie. Are you familiar with Wuthering Heights at all?
No,
probably not.
I mean, okay. I think I've heard of it, but
yeah, it's a chick thing, but it's actually one of the darkest, most messed up, brilliant works you'll ever read, because it's not about love. It's about like human nature and hate and love. Like, it's just magnificent, but it is not a love story. So this movie is going to be just awful. The book is great. Timing is perfect there. Yes, people. Yeah, and thank you. Yes, so yeah, I see. Yes, I did make you a moderator. So that's coming up here, and then of course anything that I decide that I want to talk about, because I like to muse. And if you want to be a muser of House Rose, and that comes from the Game of Thrones thing, that you have house this, house that, and over time it became House Rose. What we do here, please, go ahead and do that if you are so inclined. So that's how we're going to end the stream tonight. I hope that you all have a good time. I did my thanks for my members, but also thank you everyone that showed up. We had Ancient One. Yay, Ancient One. Yeah, no, we're not going to do a raid tonight, Ancient One. That's fine. Unless there's one that you want to throw in the chat. I can't think of one. Just throw it out there. There's Tubies with Timmy 1382. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Prophet of the Dragon. Stop by. So did Salty Traveling Sea. And anyone else and those that will be watching on the replay, thank you so much for being here. Oh, we actually had the hiking Feanor. Yes, we did indeed. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, and be certain to read good fantasy that makes you happy. And have a very good night.
Good night.